you hear me?
Can't hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Oh.
I was trying to send the invitation so people can join. Because it hasn't reached a certain amount of people. It's not allowing me pickable. It's not
Through
allowing me
discrimination.
to. It's not allowing me to go for full 4 hours. But I think I'm gonna do it like I did last time. Go through my other account and connect it to this one. It's okay. You're here for the other half, so you're not missing out much. Thank you for joining us, though. So I think I'm going to ask the question again, or we should have a discussion again about it. Is it hard staying connected to yourself as an individual, like as Maki, or being a mom?
Yeah, it's quite hard to do that because you can't actually fully be the same as you were before. But all you can do is just keeping some things that makes you feel connected to yourself, and it could be different. That's different for everyone. Those are the things like putting your baby to sleep early and have your own time at night. Mostly we try to do that, like put them to bed early, so then you've got that few hours of before going to bed, you have that's yourself, like you do your own thing. And if you do have the support, someone else is helping you, then going out. I know it is very hard. It's very hard for me as well to do it, but just go out and meet those friends and just connect and be yourself, whatever that is for you. It's different for everyone. But it's very hard to disconnect because it's a life of compromise, right? A lot of your things become like, it's such a big job. That's why I was saying at the beginning, it's such a big job that you'll ever do, really, because you can't just be like, okay, I want a break. Like, you can't do that. So if there is a help that is offered, then you can try connect with yourself in whatever it could be, activities, whatever you used to do before having the baby. So that's when going back to work part-time was quite helpful for me. It was like I couldn't just be at home being a mom. That wasn't me. That some people just enjoy that. And then I had to know what I can. It doesn't mean that you don't love your child or you love them less, but for me, I just couldn't be at home with her for a long time. So then I had to go back part-time. Then I was like, okay, that's just me being at work, having my own friends. I have other responsibilities, so I'm not just mommy. I'm Makia. I have responsibilities. I have other people expect other things from me. Then I was like, I felt better and I was a better mom that way. I couldn't do it full-time, but part-time worked perfectly for me. But I couldn't be just a full-time stay-at-home mom for a long time. I couldn't be. But some people enjoy doing that. Personally, that wasn't easy for me. So I could only do it for a year and a half. I did.
I think I was the same. Yeah.
So it's different for everyone. So you just have to find, because when you're satisfied with that, trying to separate being a mom and then yourself, then you become a better mom with the time you've got with them, because you want to do it without resentment. You don't want to resent them. You don't want to be angry with them. So by looking after yourself that way, then you will be a better mom. And the quality of time spent with them is more important than if I'm with her all the time and I'm resenting being with her. That's not fair for her. So that's what I did. I personally went back to work part-time to find just me being me without being mommy.
Yeah. For me, as I said, being a single mom, it, you have to completely disregard who you are and be the mother and the father for that child. So you don't have the time to be yourself. So I think you go through that stage of losing yourself and losing your identity as Natsi, as who I was before I became Yahya Nat. That process, that bridge, I think it made me lose myself. Because as I said, I snapped out of that depression state of mind and I got into okay, I got a child that needs me. I have to be the mother. I have to be the father. I have to be the provider. I have to be the discipline. I have to be everything. So forget Natsi. So I was like that for a very long time. It's like because I wanted to make sure I felt like there's a window for me to make sure I mold her the way she thinks and the way she views things and her personality. I believe you have the time and limit until they're 6 or 7 years old. Once they pass that age, I feel like they are out in the world. They're very smart. They educate themselves in so many things that whatever you say will be a fight. So for me, I was concentrating on how to raise her and be attentive mom and father figure for her so she doesn't feel like she's missing out something. I lost myself in that process. So I got disconnected from myself.
Yeah.
So it took a while, probably a year ago, something where I felt like that's when it hit me. I'm like, okay, I miss myself. I miss Nettie. When people say to me, oh, I miss the old Nettie, I'm like, trust me, I miss her too. I miss myself. I miss me. I miss who I used to be. And it's not because I wanted to lose who I was, but situations made me lose myself. But I didn't even know I wasn't even aware that I was losing myself because I was so focused in being a mom and making sure everything I'm doing is right and there and perfectly being done. That process made me lose myself, made me lose who I was. The people that I'm meeting now in this personality, they accept me the way I am for who I am and everything because they have nothing to compare to. The people that know me from before I was a mom, they're the ones that make me realize I've changed. Because they always say, oh, you've changed. Oh, I miss the old Nettie. The old Nettie will say this. The old Nettie will do this. They will always bring it up to remind me I've changed.
Yeah, but also we do change. I mean, even if we're not a mom, I guess with age we do change, and life experience do change us sometimes on top of the pressures we have. I'm not the same person I was before her either. You will still be different. You will be different. You're gonna do things differently. So you will be kind of losing yourself in a process of aging as well and changing in life experiences and challenges that you're going through. Different challenges because everyone go through different challenges. But yeah, whatever works for you to be connected with that person, it doesn't have to be the same, really. Yeah. Why are you smiling?
Kim is saying something. He said, maybe the butterfly can never go back to being a caterpillar they once were. That is very true.
Yeah, so you always be changing, really. And then on top of that, yes, when you're a parent, then you will be changing furthermore. But on the process that you're gonna grow, you're gonna age, and you're not gonna be the same person you were before. So it's okay for better. Yeah,
it's for better. Now I'm learning to balance it and bounce back to, being a mom and myself and have the time. I'm blessed to have people around me that understand when I say I need a break, can you hold Hiyab? I need you to look after Hiyab. Do you know what I mean? I have people that will say, yep, go ahead, go have fun. I have people around me that I feel comfortable enough to leave Hiyab with them without feeling like, oh, where is she? Is she gonna be okay? that stress that you have where you don't want to leave your child because of those reasons. But having
Yeah,
that support system at the moment helps me a lot, where I can go away and have my moments and come back
yeah,
refreshed. Even taking 2 hours away from where you don't hear
mm,
mommy, 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 mommy for an hour.
yeah,
That is like a medicine on its own. It's like, when you have a very, very bad headache and you take Panadol, wait
yeah,
15 minutes and it's just gone. That's how I feel
yeah,
when I'm away from hearing
yeah,
mommy, 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 mommy. 2 hours,
yeah,
I'm back. I miss her already. I'm okay to go,
yeah,
keep
yeah.
going another week.
Definitely. Yeah. No, everyone, it's needed for everyone. You need that break. And it doesn't mean you don't have to feel like, oh, you don't love your children, you love them less or anything like that. But even for them, it's best because you're going to come refreshed, you're going to be more fun to be around.
Yeah,
So I think it's important to take that break. And whatever that break is, if it is them going to bed early and you have that time at night for yourself, to listen to yourself and process your thought without them being right on your face, because
yeah,
sometimes they are like on your right on your face. So yeah, definitely it is whatever it is for you, because it's so different for everyone, but make
yeah.
sure to remember taking that time out.
Taking that
And
time.
if
Yeah,
you're there when they're very young, yeah, the kids brain develop especially the first 3 years. So if you can be the best you are in that 3 years, it kind of is a base for them to move forward
yeah,
and also look after yourself for
yeah.
long term. Yeah.
Yeah, look after yourself. I think it's the key to the whole concept of not to lose yourself is look after yourself. Take a break. Take a moment. For me, taking a break used to be going back to Ethiopia. When I go to
Mm-hmm.
Ethiopia, that was my break time. I have my sister who she works, but whenever she is at home, she is with Hia. She's like, go. And may
Mm-hmm.
she rest in peace, my best friend, baby. She
Yeah,
was the same. She will hold Hia. She will be like, go. She's like, "Min taregellish, go. You need a break."
yeah,
So she would never let me hold her. She's always
yeah,
looking after Hia. She's like, I got her, go. So 24/7, I had that life where I don't have to worry about him. I was never needed. So I will
mm,
recharge, I'll come back very, very refreshed. So if you can
yeah,
have a place where you can go away and not worry about being a mom, do it, because that will push you be a better mom, and that will refresh
yeah,
you into more to
yeah,
focus and give more energy into being a mom as well.
definitely.
Um, to taking back to our last question, um,
Yeah.
your favorite part from being a mom, and what is your best advice that you can give to the moms that are here and to the new moms that are gonna be joining the club?
Um, so the best part. um, what's the best part? I mean, there's too many different elements to it.
Yeah,
It's like it's hard to put it in one, but definitely the unconditional love. Whatever you do, you are loved and you're wanted for the bare minimum. Like they need you, and they tell you that. So it's like you're important, you're needed, and you're kind of valued in that regard. Like, because sometimes you can't feel that from maybe adults or from other people. Like, do they really need me, or am I valuing, like, do I have value to them? Or
mm,
you've got all of these questions, but with the kids, like, you've got that sense of being wanted. They really want you there, and they love you no matter what, you know so I think having someone, like, you live for someone. They I don't know how to put it, but that's how I can say it. Like, they need you, and then you feel wanted and valued for everything you do for them.
yeah,
So it's like you have a purpose. Like, there's a purpose everything you do for them, they appreciate, and they just love you. And even if you don't do anything, they still love you.
Yeah.
So they don't hold grudges, and they're just honest and all of that. So I think the best bit is just being wanted for real. They just need you for just being mommy, you know, being
Yes.
there for them. So I think it gives me a purpose of living and be the best version, do more. Even if that's what I would like to do before having her, but more importantly now, like I want to do better because I want her to see me do better, and so she can be better. So it just gives you purpose and a lot of responsibilities. I think that's
Yeah.
the best bit of part of it, how I see it.
And what advice would you give to all the moms and to the new
Moms
gonna be mom to be? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just allow your children to do more than you did. So there's a way you were raised, there's a way you've done things. Give them that more opportunity than that you have. Like I want my daughter to have more, if it is your son, more than you have. And it doesn't mean material things. I'm talking about opportunities. And raise them with the fear of God. Teach them about, it doesn't matter what religion you're in. Teach them to have that fear of God. And when I say fear, not scare them that they go to hell or anything like that. Just so they're not far from his love. That's how we teach Nyla. Like she's not like, she's got someone to look up to, not us, because we can't be there all the time. So just raising them with some sense of service to humanity and unity and love. Just all of these good virtues that are reflection of God, just raise them with that, and like have the base. So then, you know, they will, when they join the society, they do something good. They make this world a better place than it was or it is now. So just raise them teach them a lot of love, raise them to love others, and be honest with them yourself, and so they can be honest. That's how raising, like I will say, an advice I would give. But listen to your heart, do your best, and the best advice actually is reflect your day every day. So because there's no one perfect, so reflect at night how your day went. That's how I do it. So if you didn't like the way you treat someone, if you didn't like the way you talk to someone that day, just reflect on it and don't do it the next day. And if you have to apologize to them. The same when you're raising children. Reflect the way you treated them that day on the night. And if you think it's unfair and you shouldn't do it that way, it's okay. Allow yourself to make that mistake, but reflect on it so you're not keep doing it. So reflection is the biggest one in anything, raising children, in life, in relationship.
Yeah.
Just reflect on what you've done so you can do better. That's my advice.
Wow. Let me just repeat my favorite part. You said, allow your children to be more than you ever did.
Yes.
Like it is very, very powerful. Like you say that in a very simple way, but it's a big thing that you said. Do you know what I mean? And I love that. I think I'm going to save it as a quote from you, and I'm going to keep it. Just before I give my final answer, my final comment, and my final thought, for everybody that is here, that has been joining us and listening to me and Maki discuss about motherhood, what it means to be a new mom, and the challenges and how we dealt with certain situations. So if you guys have any questions, we will have a few minutes at the end to have a question and answer. If you guys have any questions, use the question box and put your questions in, and then we can ask the questions and have a discussion at the end. For me, best part about being your mom, I think you said it, I think every parent feels the same. It's the unconditional love that you get. The fact that I don't need validation from her. I don't need to try hard to see if she loves me or not. She will show me that she loves me and she appreciates me in so many different ways without me doing anything for her. And those little things that you do, the little efforts that you do, and that she notices and she pays attention to. And for me, looking at that and feeling like, oh my God, this is what I've been looking for my whole entire life. For someone to love me the way she loves me. It is something that you can't put a price on. You can't, it is, unless you become a mother, you wouldn't know exactly what I'm talking about. And sometimes it makes me wonder, when I see a mother not love her child the way you love your child, or the way you have a connection or the bond that you have with your child, and I don't see that with some parents. I'm like, how is that possible? Where did the bond go wrong for it not to have the kind of bond and the kind of relationship that I have with my child? Do you know what I mean? And having her, the best part is waking up to her smile and telling me always I love you. That's my best part. That's the best part of about parent, is hearing them tell you I love you. Hearing them, that I can never get enough of it. Especially this part where Hiyab does, she would just randomly come take my hand and kiss me, or she would kiss my knee and she'd be like, kiss my shoulder, or she would do something and I'm like, what is that for? She's like, I just want to say thank you. This is just random. You could be just sitting there doing nothing and she would tell me, I love you, mommy. The thing, for example, today, she woke up before me and she made her own breakfast. She came, she's like, is this enough? Did I do it good? I'm like, yeah, you did a good job. And then she went to the kitchen and she couldn't open. She was trying to make something for me. She couldn't open the jar. She came, she's like, oh, mommy, can you open it? I'm like, what is this for? She's like, oh, I'm trying to make you breakfast in bed, but I couldn't open it. She went out of her way to make breakfast in bed for me, like, regardless of what it was in the plate. The fact that she thought of, mommy, are you feeling okay today? That's how she started. She's like, are you okay? Are you feeling better? I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. She's like, I want you to stay in bed. I want to make you breakfast in bed. And she's only 6. Do you know what I mean? That is something that you wouldn't expect. And to have that, to get that, and I don't even have to do anything to get that unconditional love, to feel like I am appreciated, to feel like I am loved beyond my imagination. All of that for just being her mom. Nothing else. It's just, I don't know. I think there's more. I could put it in so many ways. You know what I mean? That's the best part. The advices that I can give to the mothers and to new moms to be is be open-minded. And that is your journey. Your journey, it can't be the same as mine. Motherhood is something that it's like going to school. You have to use your brain and go through the process into taking that degree. Motherhood is the same thing. Every day it's a school. You learn from it. If you make mistakes, as you said earlier, address it. I have that kind of communication with Hiyab where I allow her to let me know when I've done something wrong. And she would never let it go until I apologize and I acknowledged what I did was wrong.
Yeah.
So the way I raise her and the way you raise your child will never be the same. We might take few things, advices from each other, and I'll be like, oh, let me
Yeah.
try that if it works on me. It's okay to try things, but the journey
Yeah.
that you go through as a parent, as an individual, that is your journey. People will come, as earlier what we said, people will come and tell you, oh, do it this way, do it that way, where they make you feel like you're doing it wrong. And that could take a toll on you, especially if you have a kid who is always crying, who's always been nagging, who's always, those super hyped kid, if you have them. I don't have it, you don't have it, but there are parents that have the super active kids. And most of the time, people will try and jump in, tell you how to be a parent, on how to raise that kid. And that can take a toll. For me, take that journey that is yours. Learn from doing it. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Nobody ever nobody went to school to be a mom. Everybody had to be there and take that. Once the child is in your hand, it's up to you on how you deal with that child that is in your arm. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fail. You will learn from it. You will come out of it. And you will be the greatest mom that you're supposed to be. And you will see it as a reward with the way how your child is towards you. And that is my advice. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. There's a question here, but there's another question that somebody asked when they saw the post. It was about motherhood. She inboxed me and said, can you please talk about this? And what she asked me was about food and child, about how you feed your child. And she said she feels like the way she feeds her child is not good. It's not enough amount. She feels like her child is not eating enough. And she's not growing or anything. And I asked her, I'm like, is your baby healthy? Does she sleep? Does she cry? She's like, no, she sleeps. So I'm like, man, what are you complaining about? But I think this is something that we all go through, where you feel like what they're eating and the amount of food they're eating is not enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you help a mother that always feels like it's not enough?
Yeah. So in every age, it will be different. Depends on the age group that we're looking at. So I'm not obviously sure how old her child is.
Her child is, I think, about 2.5, 2. So she's in that terrible to age.
Okay. Yeah, so we always, in every age, we always think our kids haven't eaten enough, or they're not eating well or enough. We always think that way. But we can always assess based on also their behavior and other changes that we see in them. Obviously, kids, once they start walking, they might be thinner than they were as a baby. So that's kind of normal because they're moving a lot and they're exercising. Yeah. You just have to cover the basis of the food groups that are out there that you're feeding them. And even if the amount is small, so they're getting different nutrition that they need. And then you just have to avoid those people who are telling you, oh, your baby is so skinny, or your baby is this and that. You just ignore that and do what is right for the baby's body. Just make sure that they're eating vegetable that they need for their body. They don't have to look chubby to be healthy. Kids could be very skinny and healthy. Like, are they sleeping enough? Are they hyperactive, or what kind of food will make them hyperactive? So maybe you can cut down on those, and so they can actually eat normal food. Maybe do they like sweet? Then you can cut down those things. So just be moderate with what you're giving them, the type of food you're giving them. So the amount, as long as they're if they keep snacking on sweets and they want a sweet and they don't want to eat the normal food, then that's something you need to look into. Why are they not eating? Maybe they are hungry, and then when they eat the sweet, they feel full a little bit, so they can keep going. So that means maybe you need to cut down on the sweet part and then just provide them with other proteins that makes them full. So you just have to assess based on your baby. But if you're concerned that your baby is not eating enough, just get them checked on in their age group where they're at. And sometimes your baby might come under the line as per the doctors. But if they're active, moving around, they're not in pain, they're happy, they're sleeping, they're absolutely fine. That's my advice. But if you're concerned, then you can get them checked based on their height and their age. What is their weight? Is like, where is their weight?
Yeah.
Then even if they're under, it's really not that bad. Like my daughter always been in that lower level on when it comes to weight. And I've never actually got her really checked or anything like that. She's always been very active and going through all the milestones that she needs for that age. So just look at your child. Are they moving enough? Are they exercising enough? All of that for that age group. If they're doing all of that, then they're okay. But give them vegetable, definitely. That's my advice. And eat the vegetable yourself, not just for the kids. Because kids do what you do, not what you say. Remember that.
Yeah. No, I think one of the concerns that she had is she feels guilty that, the guiltiness feeling. She's like, she feels sleepless, sometimes she can't sleep thinking, did she eat enough? Is it enough? Is it like, we will all go through it, but we can't let it consume us. As long as your baby is not crying 24/7, as long as your baby is not complaining. When kids are hungry, you will know. You will know when they are hungry, But I think most of the moms that I noticed is, especially in the Habesha moms, when you want them to eat a certain amount of food, if they don't finish it, that's it. They're not eating. That's not enough. And we take worry, we stress enough where it's like, for me, the way I changed it, that stage where I was stressed and worried that she's not eating enough, I reduced the amount of milk I was giving her. So I gave her enough space time where the milk itself in her tummy to process, because I never knew that itself on its own is a bit hard to digest and it takes time. We think just because it's liquid, it doesn't stay there for long, but it actually does. And it took me a while to learn that. So allowing a space.
Yeah. You have to know your child. That's what I mean. Depends. Are they on bottle? Like, is your child drinking, the kind of milk? It has a lot of things that are quite hard for children's gut to digest. So maybe you need to cut down if your child is over 2. I mean, I can't tell you what to do with your child, but you can cut down on the milk if they do drink milk, so they can eat more of the other food that you cook or you buy for them. And read about it, really, because there's a lot of misinformation that, kids need milk or things like that. Like my child has been allergic to milk most of her until she was 7. She never was on a bottle or drink milk. Kids, actually, humans don't need milk to survive. So you can also read about that. They can get all the calcium from other things. So if you're worried that they're just drinking the milk and not eating the food, then you can just reduce the milk. Then they will eat the food that when they're hungry. As you said, the kids do eat when they're hungry. But as a parent, you're always gonna feel, no matter if they're 2 or 8 or 6, we always think they don't eat enough. But you can see, and if you don't think they're functioning enough because they're not eating, then that's something, all the relationship they have with food as well. Like, do they not like food at all, or they just eat a small amount? Then if they eat small amount, then you just increase the frequency of it. Like you give them now, you give them a little bit later as well. So you just assess based on your baby.
Yep. Another question. It says, before you became a mother, how did you find moving to a new country? And after you become a mother?
How do you feel moving into a new country?
Before you became a mother, how did you find moving to a new country? That's a very...
I mean, that itself is like really, really big topic. But to make it short, if I'm understanding the question, is like, oh, how is it different being here in a different country and then having a baby? Is that what it is? Or my experience coming into the country? Because that one needs a whole lot of new sage, like another station.
I'm trying to before you become a mother, how did you find moving to a new country? And after you become a mother?
Okay. Let me answer it in a way I mean, maybe he's saying that is it different being here as a single person, as in without a child, and then now? Maybe is that how it is? Am I understanding you right? Because if it is about my experience coming, we have to hold another session.
Yeah, I think it's about moving to a new country and then after you become a mother. So I think it's a whole different kind of concept, because this will because I think this
I could answer it short. So before having Nyla, moving here, yes, you feel moving away from family, you're quite distant, you don't have someone that's your own, and everything is new, really. So you have to go through a whole of process to adjust and find yourself, find a job, or just build your life, especially in my case, because I came here and then in 6 months I had to get married because of the visa situation I was in. So it was a lot of pressure, relationship, and then me settling into a new country. So it was quite challenging, especially on the first 6 months. And went through a lot of, issues, not issues, but just challenges to work through, and it was not easy. But once things were settled and stuff like that, and then after having Nyla, it's a little bit different because you feel like you are now a family. You have your own little family here now, so you don't feel so alone. If in that regard, you're not alone. You have your own family here. You're a bit more settled. You feel more settled than you are when you have a child, because now you have more purpose. You have a purpose, you have a responsibility, very big responsibility of raising another human. So other little thoughts that you have before having a baby kinds of like will go away, because those thoughts are replaced with new ones of how do I raise this child the best I can, or how do I provide, or how can I be best for the child. So then in the process you actually do change in for better. You change because you're not the same person you were, the way you process thoughts, and you're forced to grow up fast. That's how I can put it. So that's how I could answer his question in short. But if it is my experience moving here, we have to hold another.
I think it is it's kind of weird for both. How did you what your experience was, and then once you become a mother, I think there's a whole different kind of topic where we have to discuss.
Yeah.
But just to make it generalized about being a parent in a different country on its own, I think we need to have a new
Oh,
session for itself, because being a Habesha community, being a mother, and the way how um aras mohon agar and then the way you are a mother, here, it's
100%.
completely
Yeah.
different. And the challenges
Yeah,
that we
it has.
face,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
completely
Very
different. It
different.
will require its own new topic. I think we'll make a session for it to discuss.
But also, even
But
for people here, it's different. For people here who are really immersed in the Habesha community and people who are actually not, is even different. You know, you've got at home Mataras Manaman, and then here
yeah,
as well, there is that if you have the right group, it has its own advantage and disadvantage itself. Um,
yeah,
like it's great, you be looked after and you recover body
mm-hmm,
wise, and then it has its own disadvantage where you can't have that time with your baby or have a say in the early stage of having the baby. So I think that's the difference, like when he says having a baby in a different country, it's like I see it two ways. It was positive, and also it could be the negative bit is like Tara's part is not there. You have to get up, you do it yourself, you do it everything you do yourself. So that sometimes takes a lot of toll on the body to recover fast. But also people who have that support, they kind of lose in another way. So it's very different for everyone. But it's not easy to raise a child anywhere in the world, but when you're far from your mom, yeah, it could be challenging, but it's all also in the mind. If you convince yourself that's just you who gonna do it, you can do it. Have no expectation only on yourself. Expect from yourself, then you don't be
yeah,
disappointed.
yeah. I think it's great that you say that, because once something's thrown at you and it's on your hand, and you've got no choice but to do it yourself, you will force
Yeah,
yourself to be adaptive to the situation and learn in a way where you can deal with the situation and cope with it.
yeah,
Being a Habesha, to have a child that is not in the community where 24/7 you have nobody to check on you. Back home, you have the neighbors, you have the cousins, aunties. For a month
mm,
at least, you surrounded by people. You don't even have a moment with your child. So to be
mm,
in a different country where all of that service is not provided to you, but then
yeah,
there's the service that you mentioned earlier, the doula one, that I never knew that existed here. You know what I mean? That is
yeah.
something that everybody that is going to be a mom that should learn and know that there's actually a service that can help you, make it easy for you. I never knew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
And
knowing
also
those
just
things,
going to the mothers group, it's so important because you realize these things are happening to you not because you're Habesha, not because you're in a different country. Everyone goes through it, no matter how many people you have around you, where you are in the
yeah,
world, these things other people experience it too. So you get to see people that don't look like you also experience it. So it kind of normalizes it and it takes the stigma out of it, of how you're feeling is not weird. Like if you're worried about your child is eating enough, you go to these
yeah,
classes, all other moms are feeling that way, or like, okay, I'm not crazy that to feel this way. Or even the every little pain you have, other people have it too. So yeah, just reaching out. I think having less expectation from others, and you take that on, because if you expect, then you're gonna be disappointed in anything we do in life. When we expect from others, then we're setting ourselves for disappointment as well if that doesn't happen. So what helped me being a mom in a different country, to answer his question, was having less expectation from others, on how much help they provide. Will they help me? Or I was hoping they're going to help and they didn't help. All of these things are expecting others. So just do the best you can, but when help comes, take it. If you don't feel like asking, if help is offered, take it, but has less expectation and prepare your mind. You're gonna do this. And that's why we're pregnant for 9 months, to be prepared for all to come.
Yes. In saying that, thank you so much, Maki, for joining me. It was really, really a topic that was asked by an audience to do a topic about motherhood. And hopefully we've touched base a little bit. Motherhood is a very big conversation. You can't just have it within an hour and a half kind of conversation. It needs a big platform. So I'm sure we will have a second episode with another person where we can talk about more deeper level on about the mental health aspect of it as well. I think that is something that I want us to work towards, to creating awareness and how we can help our community when it comes to mental health. Learning from what I went through, learning from what you went through, we can hopefully one person will listen and will be like, oh my God, that's what I went through. Okay, now I can do this. Or I never knew there is this service. I can get that. Do you know what I mean? So I think we need to reach out, educate ourselves. The basic things that we said today is, the small things that we talked about, going to groups, the doula, the depression, the placenta, didn't even know. And, I've learned that after I met you that you can do that. There's so many things that we addressed. But when you dissect all these little topics, it has its own, its own topic where we can discuss and we can raise awareness about it as well. So in saying that, let me say thank you for everybody that joined us. Thank you for taking part. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for asking questions. And we will do this again in 2 weeks. If you guys have a topic that you guys want to discuss, you want us to talk about and create awareness, please do DM us, because this topic for today, it was asked by an audience to do, and we do appreciate when people come up and say, can you talk about this? So, anything else you want to say, Makia?
I guess like we have to start within ourselves as well. Obviously, there are other issues in the mental health in general, and also with new moms or new parents that we see in our community. Say something. Really, if the person cannot say it, you say something. You be advocate for them, because sometimes we see something that's not right and then we let it go, but the person is vulnerable at that time. So it's okay for us to step in and say something. I mean, it doesn't mean you have to be mean about it or anything. It's not like that. You just tell the other person to back away a little bit. And it's okay to be speaking on their behalf for them. Because now we can see it, we recognize it, we had to say something. If the person is doing too much push or do this, do that, tell them, like, can you just leave them for a bit now? Just wake them up. And sometimes people do it without knowing. People do it not to do harm, but they say things that could hurt you and, constantly nag you about it. So if we see it, we can also start saying something. It's not right.
Thank you.
Okay.
I hope you had fun.
Hopefully
this won't be your last. Hopefully we'll have you back again.
I mean, definitely. I mean, with mental health as well, if there are other specific topic we can discuss. I've been doing a lot of mental health course or early intervention or crisis intervention, so I have good inputs on that as well. So in the future, if there's any specific one, I'm happy to discuss.
Awesome. I
But
think
definitely,
there's a request that was sent to me today by a friend, a topic that wants to do and wants to discuss. We'll probably have you on that. I will hold you on that. You've said it out loud in public. It's recorded,
yeah,
so
yeah,
you
no
can't say I'm not
problem.
available. I will let you know.
Yeah, no
But
problem.
yes, she wants to talk
Yeah,
about mental health and about this whole community on how we deal with it. So I think that's going to be one of the biggest and the um, toughest topic to address, to dissect, because a lot of people will take it differently. But I look forward to
mm,
having that conversation with you
yeah,
and with her as well. But
yeah,
I think
definitely.
it's time to say goodbye. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
everybody. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you guys in
yeah,
2 weeks. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, follow us on YouTube, subscribe, and we're on Spotify as well. We are on Google Podcasts I'm not sure if we are on the iPhone one, but I know we are on Spotify, and different, anywhere where you can listen podcast. So in
just
that,
before I
thank
go
you.
on that, but if anyone is struggling mentally, who don't like to discuss it with their own people, anyone, there are services available if you're feeling isolated, depressed. There's Beyond Blue, there's Headspace for younger people. Google it, there's their number. There are
Yeah.
Access Life, there's 24 support. Whatever bad thoughts or feelings you have, other people have them too, so reach out.
Yes. Thank you for adding that at the end. So thank you.
Thank you guys. See ya.
Bye.